Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for organic, responsibly handled, locally sourced, free of MSG and GMOs Bible study. This is on the interweb every day, 5 minutes a day. That's all we ask. We're looking at Psalm 127 today, verse 2. Now, if you're a busy person, I want you to stop and put down what you're doing and listen. You need to listen to this psalm, this verse of this psalm today. You ready? You got your hands free? You're not doing something else. I don't want you multitasking now, okay? I want you to listen. Let me read for you verse 2, Psalm 127. It is vain for you to rise up early until after the sunset or until after the appointed time, to eat the bread of toil. So he gives sleep to his beloved. Did you hear what the Lord said there? It is vain for you to rise up early. And most of your translations will have to stay up late. I tried to be a little more wooden in my translation today, so until after the appointed time. So you work before you're supposed to work, and you work until after you're supposed to work, because there's so much work to be done. But Solomon here tells us that's vanity. It's vain for you to do it. Why is that? The question I think that we should pose to each one of us, we individually should pose this to ourselves. Am I acting vainly? Am I acting or behaving in vanity when I try to do it all myself? You see, he said to us in verse 1, do you remember verse 1? If the Lord doesn't build the house, it's vain. The labor of those who build it is vain. If the Lord doesn't keep the city, vain is the watching of the keepers. So there's vanity in our effort when it is not centered in His will. And sometimes vain is our effort because we're not trusting Him. We're trying to do it ourselves. We're trying to fix it ourselves. We're trying to be the all in all for everyone, all by ourselves. You're not Superman. You're not Supergirl. You're just a person. And if you're a Christian, put it down for a minute and take time to pray. Place it before the Lord, because it's vain if the Lord's not in it. It's empty. There's no power there. There's no purpose there. You need to seek the Lord. Stop. Just stop and let the Lord speak. Because if you're getting up early and you're staying up late just to get it all done, and there's no desire to glorify Him in it, and it's just a menagerie of, as well as Solomon says, toil. If you're eating the bread of toil, there's no joy there. There's no rejoicing there. There's no happiness in that. You need to let the Lord be the one to give you the strength to do it. I think every one of us needs to ask this question. I need to ask this question. I'm a pastor, and sometimes I just want to do it all myself. But here's Solomon telling me it's vain for me to rise up early and stay up late. So you need to allow what you do to be a part of the purpose of God's plan, and not just because you have to do it, just because maybe it's your plan, or because maybe it's someone else's plan and you want to see it accomplished. That's not enough of a reason. If the Lord's not in it, it's vain, and you're going to see that at the end of time, you've just spent all that energy and all that emotion and all that time and all that finance on something that the Lord wasn't even in. That would be a horrible thing to find out at the end of life, wouldn't it? So he ends this verse by saying, so he gives sleep to his beloveds. I think some of us just need a good nap. We need to lay down a minute. Just let everything go. Just let the Lord handle it. Trust Him. Trust in Him today. Call on the name of the Lord Jesus and trust in Him today. Tell Him about all of your struggle. Tell Him about all of the strife. You tell Him about all that needs to be accomplished, and just see if He doesn't help with all of that work. Call on the Lord today. I hope you'll join me tomorrow. We're going to look at verse 3 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.